Good afternoon, everybody. It's Helena here, and welcome to another of our live interview sessions. Now, today I am very excited to welcome Naomi Gonzalez-Longstaff to our IGTV for a very special interview. Now, Naomi hails from New York, and she has spent over a decade working as a celebrity and editorial nail artist. She's built up an incredible portfolio of session work. She's worked with so many leading brands within the nail industry. She's been a brand ambassador for many of them as well, and she's also launched her own line of nail lacquer called Naomi Nail Lacquer. She's also split her time working between the US and the UK, so she's got some great insight into some of the differences and some of the challenges that are faced in both countries. So I am going to invite her into the live, and she's going to just have a lovely chat with us about all things mobile and session, and we're just going to get to know her a little bit better. So bear with me while I find her. And I'm inviting her in now. Fabulous. I believe she's in the UK at the moment, so we don't have to worry about, waking anybody up or any delays from that front. Hello, Naomi.
Hi!
Hi.
This is so cool.
Oh, the wonders of technology, eh?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. What's funny is I don't know if to look up or down at me. This is just
Looking straight at you.
Okay, great. I'll look at you. Look great, by the way. I love that top.
You look fabulous. Oh, what a lovely Wednesday, full of compliments for both of us, eh? But
Do you guys see my pumpkins? Do you guys see my pumpkins? I'm bringing pumpkin season to England.
Oh, well, the Americans are so famed for, doing Halloween properly and doing it to the extreme, right? So it's only fair that, you should bring a touch of that here.
Oh, absolutely. There's two lovely cafes okay, so I love your intro, by the way. Thank you. Humbled. But it's so funny, Helena, because you're like, oh, she comes from New York. So I literally leave New York and then I split time in England where I have sheep in the backyard. That's it. So my two little cafes, I've been begging them for pumpkin spice lattes. I'm like, please, I'll bring you the pumpkin spice. I just want pumpkin spice lattes. I know it makes no sense. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. Sorry.
No, not at all. No, it's lovely to hear someone that, we're going to talk about the differences between the US and UK when it comes to nails, but it's kind of nice to chat about other stuff as well, isn't it? Sometimes
I think it's great.
So long.
I know.
Chat to, someone that's a little bit different from a different walk of life, so it's great. But when did you move back over to the UK? Because tell us a little bit about that transition.
Oh, geez. I've been coming back and forth from the UK. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, there's a few sort of freezing bits, but we can hear you perfectly fine.
I hope it freezes in the right part, not in the part when you're talking you look like that. You know what I mean? I know all are those who are joining us can understand when you're like Zooming or you're FaceTiming, you're talking, and then all of a sudden it stops and you're like, not the best face, right? So, okay, so I've been splitting time back and forth for almost 16 years, actually. England has been is my third home. So coming back, but we've been more focused in the UK for about 2.5, 3 years. I apologize. Is this better? Can you hear me better?
We can. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you fine. It was just the picture is freezing every now and again, but we can hear you.
All right, cool. So yes, I've been going back and forth. So the first time I ever really worked in the UK was in 2014 for London Fashion Week. I was sponsored by the Body Shop, and that's when they first launched their nail line. So that was pretty cool in many regards, being a woman of color, being a minority, being an American, working in London Fashion Week. Who would have ever thought that? I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. I can't believe it.
You've had kind of an affinity with the UK ever since, I guess.
I think so. You guys are like part of, I can't get the accent right. That hasn't rubbed off, but everything else has definitely played a part.
Mm. Oh, brilliant stuff. Now, I think there's a few people saying we're getting a bit of feedback, so we might turn the volume down somewhere on
Okay, is this
screen.
better?
I don't know if anyone can give a thumbs up whether they think it's whether my voice is fine or whether it's Naomi's. That would help us try and decipher the problem before we continue. That would be very helpful. Thank you to everybody watching. But we'll keep talking while we see if we can figure out that kind of issue. But when you came over to the UK, are you here permanently now, or are you here for a little bit of a stint, so to speak?
That's a great question. If it wasn't for COVID, I would probably be back in Miami doing some editorials, because it gets kind of busy winter season for us. That's tons of time. So it starts like from now until like February or so. But due to COVID, I'm still here. So I'll probably go back in November for the holidays and stay. But to answer your question, I will always continue to split time equally between two countries.
Brilliant. Well, that's great for us. That's great for us to hear. But I guess when did you came over here? Was it just before lockdown?
I arrived February, yeah, literally 3 weeks before lockdown. It was like the end of Feb. We went for my birthday like 2 weeks after, and then lockdown, shut down completely. It's crazy, right? How are you doing with this, Helena?
It's strange. Like, I'm in the office today, so not quite live from the living room, but now obviously we're going to have to go back to working from home potentially. So it's I mean, it's been okay for us because our jobs are very technology based, and as writers we've been fine. But I know for the session world, and obviously it's been awful for the nail and beauty world when salons were forced to close. But we're now dealing with all these kind of new rules, new legislation, new ways of working in a COVID secure manner. So from a session and a mobile perspective, what have you had to take into account, or what will you have to consider now when you do big shoots, for example?
Fabulous questions. One of the huge consideration is your PPE gear. Now, it's not just about wearing a mask, but as a session or editorial manicurist, there's a couple things I always bring in my kit since the beginning, and most editorial manicurists bring, which is a lot of disposable items, files, flip-flops, after their pedicures, orange wood stick, like any kind of sundries, like everything is just disposable. Now you got to take that to the next level. So it's not just about sanitizing your implements anymore. You have to make sure you have hospital grade, if not better, sanitizing for your workstation. So you have to sanitize prior, during, after. I mean, it's taking it to a whole other level. Then you have to be very fast when you're on set too. Hence, you're going to take a little bit of time from that to make sure that you're sanitizing properly and that you're removing your PPE and switching out to another one. One great thing that's going on, at least in New York, on least stateside, is that when there is production, there is additional budget from production for a COVID fee for your kit. So that's a great thing, that at least they're able to supplement a little bit in terms of all of the disposables and all the stuff that you have to create and bring with you when you're on set. So PPE is definitely number one. Having the appropriate gear to protect yourself, but also your clients and the people that you're around.
Fantastic. Yeah. And how have session shoots been? Because obviously none were happening during lockdown. Have you started getting rebookings, or are people, is that a thing now, or has it been quite slow? What's happening on that side?
Oh, geez. Okay. So like I said, I split time between the two countries. I see London picking up a lot quicker versus the States. So it's picking up in terms of hair and makeup artists. They're always like on demand, right? I mean, that's a reality. However, when it comes to nails, unless it's something super duper whooper important, they don't want you there. They want limited staff backstage and on set, which is just part of the game, unfortunately.
The new normal.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Before there was, you would be hired to be there all day, let's say. Now
Mm.
they're just completely touch and go. So a touch and go is basically you go in the morning for your call time, you do your mani and your pedi, get the nails ready for the day, and you're gone. So if they
Yeah.
do want a manicurist on set is definitely minimum. So that also means your budget in terms of what your rate goes down,
Mm.
unfortunately. So a lot of that in New York is definitely picking up, but definitely London was ahead of schedule in terms of production work, which is great. Miami, Florida didn't stop at all, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it just continued, and I think it had to do with the weather because it's so much easier to be socially distanced when you're
Mhm.
outside shooting.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking that US nail salons have been working outside? They haven't been allowed to work inside their premises until I think this week.
That's a great question, Helena, because the United States, it's so large. We have 52 states, and each states do their own thing, right? So that was on the west side. That was over in California, which they were doing nail services outside, which could
Right.
be cool because it's California. The weather is nice. You can get a cool little outdoor pedi, get some margaritas with it. I think it's hard.
But
I
then
think
you
it would.
almost don't need your UV or your LED lamp because you've got the sunshine curing nails all over the shop, which is a bit of a
You
curse,
got
I
it.
guess.
And that's what I was going to say, unless it's like acrylic or something with gel that, the sunlight and outdoor environments definitely hinder that. Um, yeah, they were definitely working outside, but the rest of the US was pretty much fine. I think Texas took a little bit longer to open up for nails, but the east side, the East Coast, I mean, they were working. They
Yeah.
closed for a very short amount of time, but they were working. I was back in the States in June, and after my quarantine, I was getting a pedicure at the salon. Like it it's impacted, but not the way it's impacted here in the UK.
Mhm. Do you think that the situation with salons in and nail professionals in the US, do you think it's going to be a little bit more stringent, or do you think that they're just going to carry on as they are because it's very, very strict over here, as needs to be? But do you think that the US is kind of it's going to be a disadvantage that they haven't been as strict?
That's a great question. I think one big difference between the two, and I think I said that before, was that we're a regulated profession in the States. So you
Mm.
have to be licensed. So we get, from the Department of Health and Sanitation, we get visits all the time, unannounced. It doesn't matter. So we're already used to having very high levels of sanitation practices.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's one reason why it may not stop completely. I think the volume of services will go down,
Mhm.
but the services will still be there for people who want it.
Yeah,
I
fantastic.
think a lot more DIYs. I think a lot of customers are definitely focused on DIY because they're scared to catch something,
Mm.
catch or also give to someone else.
Yeah, there is that factor, and I know that from looking at our social platforms and talking to our readers, a lot, not all, but there have been a lot of people that have said as soon as salons reopened or they were allowed to work again as mobile professionals, their appointment books were so full for about a month, and now there has been a decline for many people, or it has slowed down. So talking about extra revenue sources or ways to market, we know that the clients maybe have less money at the moment because they're having difficulties with the effects brought on by COVID. But in terms of the nail professional, how can they try and boost their repertoire or gain more revenue? What's your advice?
Oh, I love this question, and it tickles my soul because this is something I've been like wanting to share. I think nail pros should do package DIY items and
Mm-hmm.
help your clients. If your clients are going to go out there and get stuff, guess what? Why don't you supply it for your clients? Why don't you be the store? Why don't they trust you already?
Mm-hmm.
Sell your files. You can go on Amazon or eBay and get some files and foot files and get small little packages of hand lotion, foot lotions, bottle up some of your best cuticle remover, callus smoother. Create little DIY packages and just sell that to your clients. Especially if they have a specific color that they love, sell that as well. I think retail is going to be really important for the pro.
Yeah, and I think just touching on that point, throughout lockdown, there have been loads of innovations such as Facebook shops and Instagram shops.
I know.
So it makes it easier to retail from your social media platform. You don't necessarily need kind of a bricks and mortar premises or a website. You can utilize social platforms to sell such packs.
Oh, for sure. I think that's one of the positives that came out of COVID, is that technology is there in order for you to really create opportunities for yourself. So, I mean, I know some, my assistant in New York, Tiff, she created press-on tips.
Mm-hmm.
Custom press-on tips. So, like, hey, I'm going to go out, can you make me a tip? I'm not going in for acrylic. And she was just out there creating tips and designing them for her clients. So that's another way. I think being so out of the box and thinking creatively about all these amazing opportunities out there, I think that's the way to go for us.
Yeah, that's been great. We've got a couple of people saying, press on nails have been amazing. We've seen so many texts that took to making press on nails and selling them, via Facebook and throughout COVID, and to sort of aid their income. But I guess it's just like doing a normal nail set. If you've got an appointment spare, utilize your nail tips and get creative, and it keeps those juices flowing as well, doesn't it? Which is very important.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. And what's really cool, Helena, is that as much as a client still wants to do their nails at home because they feel safe, there's a couple of things they need us for. It's to create length and strength. Yeah. They're going to need that. They're going to need that extra little touch that we bring. And that, again, market on that. UK nail pros are like hands down amazing. Like, I see some of their work and I'm like, oh, I need to bow down to them, because they do some work. Nails by Met, come on. She's awesome. Nikki, I mean, you got some amazing people out there that they just really, really are outstanding with what they do. Jules, she's a London tech, who I haven't met yet, but I'm excited to meet her because she's just phenomenal. Again, they're just doing some amazing work. I'm really proud. Like, it's outstanding to see what you guys are doing here in the UK to keep busy.
It's a very vibrant, very creative industry. That's the thing. We would love working in this industry and seeing what everyone's doing. There's been it's been so inventive, and it's been really exciting. It's definitely kept us as the Scratch team on our toes, keeping up with what everybody's been doing. So,
sure.
It never stands still.
What's been the most innovative thing you've seen, Helena?
You know what? I think it's the press on nails has been wonderful, but it's people taking on. I don't think there's been one thing in particular, but I think what we've noticed is how nail professionals, even though they were faced with, this huge downturn, this huge shock to the system, they were so resilient in the way that they kind of came back or kept their clients informed, kept their social media accounts active.
Yeah.
And, started thinking of these cool ideas to, keep their clients engaged. And it was all about care. It was all about, we can't do your nails, but here's how to make sure that they're in good condition at home. It was great to see things like that. And you mentioned Meta Francis Nails by Metz earlier. I know she created some great videos to support their clients, and that's been really lovely to see. So it's been nice to see, the resilience of the nail professional. But I guess my next question is that with COVID, a lot of techs have maybe started to think about their overheads a lot more, and the fact that if they're working inside a salon, we've seen a lot of people go self-employed or go freelance or start to move into mobile nail services because the overheads for salons are so expensive. So what's your advice for those that are thinking about going mobile? What are your kind of top tips?
I think it's very smart for those who are going mobile. I think it's extremely smart, and I think it's going to be one of the new norms. I think brick and mortar shops won't be as large. I haven't been to a large nail salon here in England yet, but I know in the States they'll have like 20 pedicure chairs. right? And then they'll have like 30 manicure chairs. Like it's that, those are huge, like I call them mega nail salons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're volume-based businesses. I think that's going to be phased out a little bit, and things are going to go back to a more
Yeah.
smaller kind of um
Almost like
space.
boutique
Yeah,
services.
for sure. Boutique, one-on-one, that's going to
Mm-hmm.
be the way. But in terms of those wanting to go mobile, I think it's smart. I think if you are planning on doing that, any nail pro, first,
Mm-hmm.
contact me. I'll help you, no problem. Instagram me, Twitter me, Facebook, link, all these like ways you can contact me. But one advice definitely is to plan out your kit. You have to plan out your kit. And one way to plan out your kit is to ensure that, number one, that it's small and compact. So if you know you're going in for a client who's an acrylic, just bring the appropriate things just for the acrylic. Don't bring your entire salon to a house.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep it like one bag and
Yeah.
one pedicure. Like I use a pedicure bowl. I've been using pedicure bowls for like over 10 years. What I love about them is that, Helena, they're compact enough that you can put everything in the bowl
Mm-hmm.
for that service, and then take everything out that you need and then throw it out. It's empty, sanitize, move on to your next client. So
Yeah.
definitely keep your kit compact. Do tons of like one for all, multi purpose product. And one of my favorite is C&D cuticle way, because it definitely dissolves your cuticle, but it also works great on calluses to smooth them out.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your stuff small, keep your kit small. And this goes for if you're a session manicurist as well.
Yeah.
You have to keep and limit your items.
And
So invest.
limiting is even more important now in, a COVID secure environment, because it's less to sanitize and it's less to kind of think about in terms of contamination. So that compact kit is going to be even more essential than ever, I think.
Oh yeah, and anything that's disposable, like orange with sticks are essentials. Like cuticle pushers, metal pushers are great,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to keep timing and space and your new work environment into mind when you are kind of setting up a mobile business, because it's still quick. You
Yeah.
still have to be quick, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
provide amazing quality service, but you have to keep the new norms definitely up front. Gloves, bring gloves, disposable gloves. That's extremely important. That's like a must in your kit. So definitely keep your kit in mind. Mhm.
Fantastic. And one thing that I've known of you and your work for the whole time that I've been at Scratch, like, it's obviously your profile's incredible with what you've
Oh,
achieved in your career
thank
anyway.
you.
But
Thank you.
you're really hot on your social media. You've got, an agent, and you have your fingers in a few pies, so to speak, because you have your own lacquer line as well. So,
Yeah.
you're very good at kind of marketing and promoting yourself. Have you got any advice for those who, don't really know how to go about that in terms of, social media or getting the name out there?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I think everyone should just be able to go out and ask for help,
Mm-hmm.
because there's tons of outlets, there's tons of things. A good app is great. Some good apps that's free for visual, because each app is different. Actually, I don't know if you guys knew, I learned during COVID, like I was looking for like an e-commerce app, I was looking for a design app. Not every app is a good for all. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely know what your message wants. If what is your message? How would you like your message to be presented? What are you trying to sell? Are you trying to sell your service? Are you trying to sell yourself? Are you trying to sell a new nail look that you created?
Mm-hmm.
Know that really importantly. Have a calendar. Maybe create say, okay, on Tuesdays I'm going to do nail tip Tuesdays. On Wednesdays I'm going to do inspiration Wednesdays. The whole point is to keep it organized as well. Keep so your message and your brand in your message definitely very organized, and
Mm-hmm.
explore different apps. One great app that is out there, and it's free for all you nail techs, is Me Too. And that definitely helps to create sharper images. And also Canva. I think everyone is,
Oh, Canva. We love Canva.
and it's free. So if you're new to e-commerce, if you're new to social media branding from an in-story perspective, that's a great app to start off with. It really
Mm-hmm.
is creative.
And these are not spons, by the way. We don't need to do hashtag ads. They are just, you genuinely like them.
These are, yeah, totally. Like, go after. We're not getting paid for this. We're not getting anything. But this is just stuff that's work for me.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And I just kind of want to wrap up today's session with something that I'm sure our readers will really, really want to know is, and our listeners today, is the key differences in trends and habits from the US and the UK. And I know you wrote a blog post for us about this, but just wanted to see if things changed. Like, what's the nail client like in the US compared to the UK?
Okay, so great question.
I don't know if this is going to be a tricky one. I mean, should we ask? I mean, is there anything bad to tell?
I think girls are girls, right? Ladies are ladies. We definitely get our nails done, and that's our time, right? But I find that in the US, our clients are a lot more open, like chatty, and here in the UK, clients are a little bit more reserved. That's one thing. But in terms of trends, and everyone here loves their length. They love your stiletto, your embellishment, bold nails. So it's kind of, in terms of personality, they're kind of reserved, but they definitely love their boldness, you know. Lips, and they match a lot of lipsticks and tips. I also saw that. But definitely bold embellished nails is a really big thing here. It's hot. Versus in the States, it's a little bit more on the natural side. But if you go to California, again, it's all about like super embellished nails. If you go to Miami and New York, you get those short, natural gel nails. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, lifestyle habits playing a huge part as usual, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, amazing. Well, Naomi, it's been so lovely to chat to you. I know we'll be doing a lot more with you soon. And it's so nice to have your perspective on things as well. From your background, your career story. It's been wonderful chatting with you today.
Oh,
and I'm sure everyone needs to go and follow Naomi, Nailing with Naomi, and also her lacquer range, which is Naomi Nail Lacquer, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's Naomi Nail Lacquer. Yeah. I remember when we started with the name, like, what are we going to do?
If you have, this will be posted on IGTV. So if anyone's got any questions, then pop them in the comments on the post, and we'll try and get them answered from Naomi afterwards.
Thank you, Helena, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I definitely need to send you some pumpkin advice once I get it from the state, because you need some pumpkins.
Oh my gosh, absolutely! I really want to try one as well. So we'll schedule one in together when we are allowed.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Adios.